Good morning, sir. My name is Minipul Villarin from Tunga, and our topic is Filipino-American relation.
The Philippines' relation with the United States has been robust, dynamic, and strategic. This is nurtured by a commitment to freedom, democracy, and market economy. From combating war against terrorism to war against poverty, the partnership between the Philippines and the US is broad-based, opening fresh avenues for a greater cooperation.
So, nadya yung mga kuan dyan, no, nga natay relasyon sa kuan US, which is
The Japanese invasion of the Philippines began on December 8, 1941. On December 24, 1941, the USAF High Command and the War Cabinet of the Commonwealth withdrew to Corregidor. On December 26, 1941, Manila was declared an open city. Just 10 hours after attack to Pearl Harbor, Japan launched a surprise attack on the Philippines on December 8, 1941.
So in December 8, 1941, so dili kita nagkuan no kay gisurprise attack
The
sa
Philippines signed an economic
Japanese.
and military respectively because the United States took advantage the partnership of our country. The United States was consistently ranked as one of the Philippines' favorite nations in the world, with 90% of Filipino viewing the US and 91% viewing American favorably in 2002. 90% of Filipino viewing US and influenced positively in 2011. 85% of Filipino viewing US and the Americans favorably in 2013. 92% of Filipino the US favorably in 2015. 94% having confidence in the United States.
So on October 20, 2016, President Barack Obama making the Philippines the most pro-American country in the world. So si Barack Obama day iyang gikuan kanang himo niya ang kuan ato ang nasod nga one of the
Rodrigo Duterte announced a separation
most
from the
pro-American.
United States both military and economically if in favor of alliance with China and Russia. Biography of Cayetano Arellano. Cayetano Arellano Y. Lunzon was the first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the Philippines under the American civil government. Cayetano Arellano had occupied a high position in Aguinaldo's government.
He worked with American under General Otis and established the Audiencia Territorial and
And
remaining
he was the
Supreme
Chief
Court.
Justice from 1901 until his retirement on April 12, 1920, making him the longest-serving Chief Justice. Arellano was born in Udyang, Bataan to Servano Arellano. He started as working student in Colegio de San Juan de Letran. After finishing his high school, Arellano transferred to the University of Santo Tomas.
So daghan si Arellano daghan siya gikuan nga kuno kanang ni pag human niya og finish siya kuan Bachelor of Philosophy. So nintikan sa siya og kanang law in 1976. So imagine no grabe jud siya kuan ka perseguido.
Made together from the federal budget to promote the assassination of the Philippines, and William Howard appointed Arellano as the first Supreme Court Chief Justice.
My name is Christian Sheikh Ismando from Tunga, Malbal, Cebu. Rizal resisted the short life. He moved to Madrid, gave the young Susanna a box of chocolate. She wrote him in the face. She messaged Rizal that don't delay the long waiting. Use the wanted to come back. In 2007, Sly Mandel Group arranged for the historical market, honoring Rizal to be placed at the home. The content of Rizal writing change considered in his to most the famous novels. Noli Me Tangere, published in Blade in 1887, and El Philibus, published Giant in 1891. Rizal being the practice as the intent of revolution and teaching the native tribes about the advice reaction as a Philippines. Reaction as a Philippines Revolution of 1896. The Philippines was a province near Spain, New Mexico, administrated from the Mexico City from 1565 to 1821. From the 1821 to 1898, it was administered directly from the Spain. Sultana, a political communator of Spain, enslaved Rizal by the writing an insulting article in the La Epoca at the newspaper in the Madrid. He implied that the family and friend Rizal were evicted from the land Calamba for not having planned their drawing. Rizal sent a representative to challenge Rizal, though public apologize, and later become one of the Rizal biggest admirers. His return to Manila in 1892, he formed a civic movement called La Liga Filipino. At the time, he became the publisher of novel, which touched Spanish and included English as the Andrea grandson. He aimed the research to filter and self-sufficiency in young men. He is now making the result of the being personal sacrifice interested of the income revolution, believe that a father suffering and the country and love as the Filipino lives. 1895 189 revolution from the by Katipunan, a militant secret society, and become a full-blown and revolution revived to be a nationwide. Rizal and Joseph left the Pitan on August 1, 1896, with letter of recommendation from Blanco. Rizal was arrested to Cebu via Spain and was imprisoned in Barcelona on October 6, 1786. On December 30, 1896, by the squad of Filipino soldiers of the Spanish Army back to the first regular Spanish Army to stop the ready to shoot the executed soldier. They failed to obey the order. To his family, he worked to write or again parent as the you will wish to be treated, love, trading the great in the memory of the Philippines of me on December 30, 1896. Ricardo Pasco considered that the reaction document said to even discovered in 1935 was not in the Rizal writing. Rizal as his wife on his last day and the Prophet joined the revolution force Cavite province, making headway the trip, taking Mordecai's enemy lines and help reloading Spain's categories of the arsenal in almost under the revolution. General Battalion Garcia. See written in the Theater's completion period to returning of Manila and was summoned by the government general, but owing to his stepfather, American citizen, she died in the Boracay in the home in the March in 1592 and was buried in Happy Valley Cemetery. That's all. Thank you.
Biography of famous Filipinos. Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado y Alonzo Realunda, known as Pepe, and he was born in 1861 in the town of Calamba in Laguna Province.
Rizal was polymath, skilled in both science and the arts. He painted, sketched, made sculptures, and wood carvings. He was also a prolific poet, essayist, and novelist, who was famous in his two works, The Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo. He was also an ophthalmologist and a Freemason, who joining the Acacia Lodge No. 9 during his time in Spain and becoming a Master Mason in 1884. He was also one of the greatest national heroes of the Philippines, and he was executed by the Spanish colonial government by the crime of rebellion after the Philippine Revolution.
Rizal had 9 sisters and 1 brother. Saturnina is the eldest sister of Jose. Pasiano is the second child and the only brother of Jose Rizal, followed by Narcisa, Olympia, Lucia, Maria, and then Jose Rizal, the 7th child. Concepcion, Josefa, Trinidad, and Soledad Rizal. Teodora Alonso and Francisco Mercado are their parents. In 1849, both their families had adopted the additional Spanish surnames of Rizal and Realunda after Gobernador General Narciso Claveria y Zaldúa decreed the adoption of Spanish surnames among the Filipinos for census purposes.
Before going to Manila, Rizal studied first under Justiniano Aquino Cruz in Binyan, Laguna. He was enrolled at the Ateneo de Manila and graduated as sobresaliente or outstanding. He continued his education at Municipal Ateneo de Manila to obtain an assessor's degree. At the same time, he did also take up a preparatory course in law, but unexpectedly, he switched his course to medicine after knowing that his mother were going to be blind.
Rizal studied at the Medical School of Santo Tomas, specializing in leather and ophthalmology. Rizal traveled in Spain in May 1882 and studied medicine at the Universidad Central de Madrid and earned a degree licentiate in medicine. At Heidelberg, the 25-year-old Rizal completed his eye specialization in 1887 under the renowned professor Otto Baker. After that, he operated his own mother eye and he used the newly invented ophthalmoscope invented by Hermann von Helmholtz. After Jose Rizal graduated from Ateneo Municipal de Manila or Ateneo de Manila University at the age of 16, his friend Mariano Katigbak came with his sister Segunda Katigbak.
It was the first time that Segunda and Rizal met each other, and Rizal described Segunda as a beautiful lady, and he made a portrait of Segunda, but unfortunately, Segunda engaged by Manuelos, the townmate of Rizal.
Now, let's move on to Rivera. Rivera is thought to be the inspiration of the character of Maria Clara in Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo.
Rizal and Rivera's first meet was in Manila, when Rivera was only 14 years old. Their correspondence between each other starts when Rizal sent a poem to Rivera, saying farewell because Rizal are going to Europe in May 3, 1882. Later on, they employed quotes in their letters because of Rivera's mother who did not favor Rizal.
When Rizal returned to the Philippines on August 5, 1887, Rivera and her family had moved back to Dagupan, Pangasinan.
In 1888, Rizal stopped receiving letters from Rivera. The reason of Rivera's years of silence, it was a connivance between Rivera's mother and the Englishman Henry Keeping. Who is this Henry Keeping? Henry Keeping is a railway engineer who fell in love with Rivera and was in favor by Rivera's mother.
In February 1895, the 33-year-old Rizal met Josephine Bracken, which accompanied her blind adoptive father George Stauffer to have his eye checked up by Rizal. Josephine Bracken was a common law wife of Philippine nationalist Jose Rizal during his exile in Dapitan in the province of Zamboanga del Norte in southern Philippines. They applied to marry, but because of Rizal's refutations from his writings and political stance, and especially for being not returned to Catholicism, so the civil marriage happened between the two of them and lived as husband and wife in a common law marriage in Talisay in Dapitan.
So, biography of Imelda Marcos. Imelda Marcos was born on Manila but moved from Tacloban prior to the World War
Biography of
II
Imelda
after
Marcos.
death of her
Imelda
mother.
Marcos was born in Manila but moved to Tacloban prior to World War II after the death of her mother. She pursued her dream as a singer and a beauty queen in 1954. She married Ferdinand Marcos, who became the President of the Philippines in 1965, and in 1972, which the martial law is declared.
Ferdinand Marcos returned to the Philippines and was elected for times to the House of Representatives as a congresswoman for Leyte in 1995 and for Ilocos Norte 1910,
The assassination of
2013, and
opposition leader
2016.
Benigno Aquino Jr. in 1983 caused past protests that eventually led to the People Power Revolution. After the death of her husband, Ferdinand Marcos returned to the Philippines and was elected 4 times to House of Representatives as a congresswoman for Leyte in 1995 and for Ilocos Norte in 2010, 2013, and 2016.
She was sometimes referred
Marcos
as
is
a steel
infamous in
butterfly
her
supporters.
extravagance. This included owning more than 1,000 of shoes. She worked as a fashion designer and a model. She has sometimes been referred as a steel butterfly by her supporters.
So around 1932 and 1932, financial conditions in
Imelda
the
grew up in a
family
little
began
clan
to
of
decline.
Catholics, Cerados, literally Sios Catholics, a Filipino term strict and devout Latin Rite Catholics. The day after her birth, she was immediately baptized by Monsignor Juan Sumera in San Miguel Church. Her grandmother, Doña Trinidad Lopez de Romaldes, was the clan matriarch. She and her husband Daniel Romaldes Arcela were the first of the clan to live in Tolosa, Leyte, for the purpose of Daniel's death.
The same year, 1930, Imelda's father gave up to Manila due to his declining
Imelda claimed to
fortunes.
have
Law
met General
practices
Douglas
returned.
MacArthur when he landed in Palo, Leyte during the Philippines campaign in 1944. She speaks Tagalog and English, the two official languages of the Philippines, as well as Waray, the regional language of Leyte.
Imelda Marcos stayed in the house of her relative, Danilang Romaldos.
Imelda studied grade 1 in Holy Ghost College, but didn't enroll again in 1936-1937. She continued her early studies in Holy Infant Academy, a convent school run by Benedictine. Imelda studied with the sisters from 1938 to 1948, achieving an average of 80% throughout her primary and high school. Marcos learned her first political lesson when she ran the president of the council at St. Paul's College in 1951. 3 years before her marriage to Marcos, she put up as a candidate for the Department of Education, but the school authorities insisted that another candidate be put up to make the elections a democratic procedure. While an undergraduate, she did some practice teaching at the Chinese high school and won a scholarship to study music at the Philippines Women's University.
Imelda worked as a sales girl in store owned by Danieling and his nephews. In March 1953, Imelda won 655 points, while Norma Jimenez won 453 points. and become one of the Imelda's band of women companions blue ladies. Ferdinand immediately decided to pursue Imelda's marriage and the 11th day whirlwind. On April 16, 1954, Imelda finally agreed to sign the marriage license. On April 17, 1954, they were secretly married by Francisco Sanso. Biography of Manuel Luis Quezon Y. Molina. Born August 19, 1878 and died on August 18, 1988. Manuel was a Filipino lawyer, statesman, soldier, and a politician, and who served as the President of the Commonwealth of the Philippines from 1935 until his death 1944. After Emilio Aguinaldo in 1899-1901, Manuel is considered to have been the second president of the Philippines.
Quezon left his law studies at the University of Santo Tomas to join independence movement. However, after surrendering in 1900, wherein he made the first break in the American press, Quezon returned to the university and passed the bar examination in 1903. Achieving fourth place, he became a municipal councilor of Lucena and was elected governor of Tayabas in 1906. After a hard-fought election, Quezon returned to Manila in 1916 and was elected senator of the 5th Senatorial District. He was later selected as Senate President by his peers, serving continuously until 1935, 19 consecutive years, the longest serving in history until his younger province male from Tayabas, Senator Lorenzo Tayadas, 4 consecutive terms, 24 years from 1947 to 1972.
In 1907, he was elected as a representative of Tayabas, 1st District for the Philippines Assembly. From 1909 to 1916, he served as the one of the Philippines' 2 President Commissions to the U.S. Quezon was married to his first cousin Aurora, and Manuel Quezon has 4 children.
Quezon was married to his first cousin Aurora Aragon Quezon on December 17, 1918. The couple had 4 children: Maria Aurora Baby Quezon, 23 September 1918, 28.
That's all, sir. Thank you. That's all about our topics.